Hi, I'm Taylor.
Hi, I'm Tracy.
And we are
TNT.
Okay, so what is our topic today?
Picky eaters and the negotiator.
/ negotiator.
That's right. You have a little more of the picky eater. Well, you have a major picky eater.
Yes.
I definitely had the negotiator.
I don't know what she's talking about.
Queen of negotiations right
Yes.
here. So.
Honestly, though, I kind of feel like I have a little bit of both, like kind of a combination here. He probably gets it from me, so it's coming back around, I guess, right? But yeah, no, he's definitely a picky eater, and but then he also tries to negotiate, and I'm just like, bro, you don't even know who you're dealing with.
So as far as picky eating goes, you've tried a lot of things along the way.
I have tried a lot.
Options.
And here's the thing, it's been a journey, it's been a struggle. There's been a lot of frustrations, there has been some tears that have been shed. But I've learned a lot, and that's what I'm here to share with you guys. It's more than him just being picky, it was the stubbornness. That's what was also really hard. So it's kind of a combination of being picky and also being really stubborn. But anyway, let's dive into a little bit of some of the techniques that I tried that didn't work, and then I will let you guys know what did work.
And then we will tell you what we found on the almighty Google.
Yeah, yes. She is the Google queen, by the way. So she is going to be giving us some tips from Google throughout these videos, which is awesome. So it first started probably right before he was 2, I think is when it started for me. And anyway, I mean, it's just the typical like fruits and vegetables that he did not want to eat. And no matter how I made it up, I would try, to do it up in a nice way.
Hide them.
Yes, because and that is a strategy. Okay, one thing I will say I haven't tried is blending it into the pasta sauce. I think that is a brilliant idea, and for whatever reason, I just never got around to actually doing that, but I think that's an awesome idea.
Yeah. But you can't have pasta every night.
Right, exactly. So, you can't do that.
That's like maybe one little way you can sneak them in, but picky eaters will find them. That's the problem.
Yes, and he's super observant. He's super smart, and that was something I realized very early on with him. The whole out of sight, out of mind thing is not true at all. I mean, he was very much aware of what I was trying to do. So trying to hide the fruits and vegetables did not work. I also tried the stubbornness battle, as I called it, where I was just like, okay, you are not leaving the table until you finish. That literally went on for hours and did not work. He did not budge.
Yeah.
Did not budge. And then
it just causes for ugly dinners and stress, and you can't enjoy your own food, and all these things. So some of these techniques, what you found along the way is that they have a really bad ripple effect on the family, and so they're not good techniques.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was the biggest thing. That's one reason why I stopped doing that method, is because it was just so stressful for my husband and I. We got home from work and we want to sit down to have a nice family dinner, and then it just turns into World War III, and it just was not worth it. And at the time, I was actually meeting with a good friend of mine, and she was giving me some good advice, and this is when I got the advice that actually worked. And this is what we've basically been doing ever since, and let me tell you, it dramatically changed everything, and I was so thankful for her advice. And that is, she said, give him the option, give him the choice.
Right.
And I know that sounds so simple, but I didn't even think about that. But I mean, basically, we would sit down to dinner, and I'm like, hey, if you would like to join us for dinner, you are more than welcome to. This is what we're having. You are going to have your fruits and vegetables first. If you eat that, then you can have the rest of your meal. A lot of times when we first started this technique, he would opt out almost every time. It was just like, okay, well, I'm just going to go play in my room then. And I'm like, okay. But it did start working eventually, and then he started coming around. And I think too, it's important to make them feel that they have a choice, especially when you have a really stubborn kid.
Right.
I think it's important to let them feel like they have a say and let them have a choice in that.
Right. And Yeah, definitely. When you have a strong-willed child, and that might be a topic for another day.
Yeah.
But choices are very good within limitations. You can't just open the world to them and say, "Hey, what do you want?" But it is really a good idea to say A or B. And those can be really good moments and help them even to develop good habits and be able to make choices along the way. But one thing I was thinking too is no more World War III at dinner, and then mom and dad could enjoy dinner together.
Yes.
If he's not there, it just made for a much more enjoyable dinner time.
Yeah, and that was something else that she said is, take the fight out of it. And at first I was like, how am I going to take the fight out of it? He's the one that's throwing the huge fit and everything. But giving him that choice, it did. That's exactly what we did. We took the fight out of it. And so a lot of times he would choose to go play in his room. But after a while, he would want to come and sit with us, and he started eating his fruits and vegetables first, and then we'd give him the rest of his meal. And that's been the strategy ever since. And now we're at the point where he pretty much almost 100% of the time will come and sit with us and have dinner. He will have his fruits and vegetables. And yes, we still have our moments of challenge, and yes, we still have our moments of, I don't want to eat this. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. If you don't want to eat this, then you can go play in your room. You can go sit in your room or whatever. But it has gotten dramatically better, and I'm just so thankful for that. And it's been less stressful. And something else I was going to say too. I'm okay with sauces, ketchup and ranch are like his top sauces. He can't hardly eat anything without ketchup and ranch. But I'm like, you know what? That's fine, because he is still eating it, and I don't care if it's smothered in ketchup. I mean, that's gross to me.
He just told me the other day, green beans are so good with ketchup.
Oh my goodness. No. Oh man.
Just to kind of add in there at the end, like I said, I had the Negotiator.
Oh yeah.
I had the if I take 2 more bites of chicken and 3 peas, then can I have dessert?
Pop-Tart. It was always Pop-Tart.
It was always Pop-Tart. Then can I have a Pop-Tart?
Can I have a Pop-Tart?
And sometimes I took that deal. I just have to say, and maybe I should not have.
Yes. Okay.
Maybe I should not have. But let's be honest, this is real talk, right? Sometimes they wear you down.
Absolutely.
Sometimes they wear you down.
Absolutely.
And you're just like, or the other thing with me was, I was like, well, what if I'm giving her too much food? Like, how do I know how big her stomach is or how much she can eat? So sometimes I'd be like, okay, I mean, she ate the majority of her food. So if she leaves 4 peas on her plate, and I was going to say, and a piece of chicken, but she never did. She was definitely a carnivore. He ate that meat like no problem. But then I was like, yeah, okay. I'm not going to necessarily fight this battle. And I think sometimes choosing your battles wisely is a really good thing to remember.
Yeah.
My husband was one of those kids who was taught to clean his plate, and to this day he still feels like he needs to clean his plate, and I don't think that's a healthy alternative either. Because
then you can overstuff, and then they just feel sick. I've struggled with that too sometimes, because my kid he's a big kid, and I feel like sometimes he will literally eat the same amount that I eat. Then there's other times where he doesn't. So it's hard to tell sometimes. Like, okay, have you had enough, or am I going to overstuff you? And there's always so many things to consider. But
which is a great transition into Almighty Google, because one of the things that they do tell you is that with your picky eaters, along the way, you're also teaching them to understand full and hungry.
Oh,
and so. One of the things you can say in the beginning is, if they're like, well, I don't want to eat that, and they're like, well, are you not hungry, or do you just not want this food? Or if they get through and they start negotiating with you, well, are you full? Does your belly feel done? And start trying to, and it's going to be difficult in the beginning, but trying to teach them full is a really good thing, so that you don't have an overeater. Yeah, for sure. And so a couple of the things on here we'll just go through really quick. Be a role model for your child. And I have said so many times in so many instances, kids are not do as I say, not as I do. If you are not a fruit and vegetables eater, they're not going to be a fruit and vegetables eater either.
For the record, though, I love salads. I eat salads all the time.
And he does now with ranch.
He actually does with ranch. That's true. He does.
You know, so show them that you make healthy choices for your snack time and you eat those fruits and vegetables and stuff. Don't pressure, praise, reward, trick, or punish.
Oh.
And that was one of the things that...
Wait, can you say that one more time?
Don't pressure, praise, reward, trick, or punish, which is basically the things we covered sort of in the beginning that you had tried.
Right.
And that doesn't work. Don't be a short order cook, which a lot of people will do. And I know moms that'll be like, what do you want for dinner? What do you want for dinner? What do you want for dinner? And they'll make 3 or 4 different things. Don't do that. Make one dinner. Okay? Have patience with them because tastes do change. But also look for signs that they truly don't like it.
Right.
Because there are a lot of kids who have issues with texture, issues with a certain taste. And so you definitely want to be aware that they're their own person. And you need to find out, is it truly him being stubborn or is he really doesn't like that?
Which I want to add something to that, because that is something I realized, because I thought an easy way, as we were talking about at the very beginning of this video, an easy way to kind of mix in the vegetables and everything was Asian food, or, you know, like a stir fry type of thing. And my husband is like one of his favorite foods, and so I make that often. And I slowly began learning that my son genuinely does not like it. And so anytime I make a stir fry, I just put some chicken and vegetables aside, like separately. And
it's that sauce he doesn't like.
Yeah, it's the sauce he doesn't like. Yeah. If you smother it in ketchup or ranch, we're good to go.
We're good to go. So
but anyway,
and that goes back to one of the things I said is make sure that you're feeding them things that they genuinely like, not dislike. You know, and it's really, really helpful. And the last thing that I found was to remove all distractions. You know, don't put your kids in front of the TV and then try and have them eating, or you have the TV on because you're watching something and you're trying to have that family meal time. But I think it's really important to start those habits from the beginning and those family traditions of just having a meal together. One of the things they also said was, you know, have your child just sit there. They don't have to eat, they can choose not to eat, but just to have them sit there even during mealtime and interact. It wasn't necessarily what worked perfectly for you because you did have a little more of a stubborn eater, but
a little bit.
But if they'll sit there at least and interact with the family, that's going to lead to really good habits eventually as well. So.
And I think family time is super important, and we can dive into that more in another video, but for sure, I mean, I think family time is very important, and I think especially, you know, dinner time, getting everybody together, and you want that to be a really nice time and not high stress and
we don't think that can happen every night of the week. Okay, we know that. This is real talk.
Very true. These are our goals,
but
right?
This
is what we're striving for.
But if you can at least do that a few times a week, yes, let's go for that. So.
Yeah. Oh, I think I hear little Miss here waking up from her nap, so I'm gonna have to go get her.
Our time is up.
Yep.
So grab your chai. Join us again next time.
And thank you. We'll see you in the next video.
Bye.
Cheers. Cheers.